this is, and it's a very long bill. It touches a
Yes.
lot of different firearms provisions in California law. But addressing this issue specifically, they said, all right, we'll bump that number up to 3.
Which is insane. We're the Armed Attorneys. Today we were talking about how the nightmare dystopian gun-free future we all fear has already fully arrived in California, and we've got some doings that transpire in there with their laws, but also some very interesting services that are now being offered to account for the fact that Californians cannot keep themselves safe. Before we get started, show your support for the Second Amendment by hitting the like button, and today's episode is brought to you by Aura. It's scary how easy it is for someone to Google your name and find out your private information, your home address, phone number, email, and more. It's not just inconvenient, it's dangerous.
It happens because of data brokers. They collect your data from all over, like public records, data breaches, and sell it to anyone who wants it. Marketers, scammers, even stalkers. And they do it without your consent, making billions in the process. We know it's a big threat, but unfortunately, it's completely legal. And even if these companies are required to take down the information, good luck not getting buried in the process.
Or you can do what we do. Use Aura, the sponsor of today's video. Aura does so much more than just removing your name from Google searches. They take care of the hard part by automatically removing your info from these sites and keeping it off. Aura also alerts me if they find my phone number, email, or social security number on the dark web. They'll let me know fast if anyone tries to use my information to access my credit or bank accounts. And if the worst happens, Aura provides up to $5 million in identity theft insurance to help cover the damage.
Plus, Aura provides all-in-one digital security. Aura includes a world-class VPN, password manager, real-time credit and identity theft monitoring, internet parental controls, and malware protection, all inside one app. Aura helps protect your identity, your money, and your peace of mind. Let Aura do the hard work of keeping you safe online. Go to aura.com/armedattorneys to try 14 days free. That's enough time for Aura to start scrubbing your personal information from these data broker sites automatically. So this relates to kind of a dangerous California law regarding how many handguns can you purchase in a certain time period. Now, this law has been on the books for 20 years.
Yeah, it was initially passed in 1999, which I guess just not living in California, I did not realize.
Yeah.
I did not realize they had had such a law for so long, but here I am doing the research. And
Well, and before we go any further, like, we feel so bad for you folks in California. So
sorry.
don't have great news to, well, there's a little bit of a good news, but
Is there?
Well, it's kind of like a back, it's a slap.
Okay, yeah, sure enough. So you have this law that was finally challenged by Firearms Policy Coalition, Second Amendment Foundation, a number of individual plaintiffs with regard to the number of firearms you can purchase in any 30-day period, which is an insane law, but was challenged post-Bruen in a case called Wynn versus Bonta. So what did Wynn versus Bonta do?
So this looked at, is there any historical precedent towards, the restriction of how many firearms you can purchase in a 30-day period? Now, we know New York State Rifle and Pistol Association v. Bruen, the standard we're looking at is this within the ambit of the Second Amendment? Well, clearly purchasing firearms is. Then it's presumptively unconstitutional. Burdens on the government. Show us where the founders would have tolerated such an infringement at the time of the adoption of the Second Amendment in 1791. And they came up scratching kind of the bottom of the barrel and didn't really get anything. They found some pre-colonial laws about possessing firearms within near Indian territory, but you didn't really get an analog.
Yeah, so the district court was like, look, the only historical cousin, right? Because we're not looking for historical twins, we're looking for historical cousins. The only historical cousin you guys can present is this law from Virginia from like the 1600s that said that you could have one firearm within the proximity of basically where you knew there was a Native American settlement. And I think it was on the books in Virginia for like 2 or 3 years, and then it was gone. So that's not good enough. And this is, I guess, like, I don't know. If we're talking about weird dystopian futures, I guess this is like a good dystopian sort of outcome. The Ninth Circuit agreed and did the right thing by guns.
Yeah,
That's weird.
They said, hey, guess what? This infringement, can't stand. And, the law that they're pointing out there is more of like, I would analogize it more to like First Amendment time, place, manner restrictions, not so much ability to purchase.
Right. It's more like you can't carry in a K through 12 school, right?
Sure.
I mean, it's really a location restriction. Although, man, I would love it if all of our laws said you could only have one gun in all of our gun-free zones.
That would make us all so much safer.
That would make us also, I mean, it's better than zero.
Right.
Right? So, yes, that would be great. But so, yeah, the Ninth Circuit was like, sorry, guys. And so you would say to yourself that the state of California would see that and go, okay, I guess we'll try to come up with some other kooky way to restrict your constitutional rights. But they didn't. They're diving back in for a second bite at the rotten apple.
Yeah, enter Assembly Bill 1078. This is, and it's a very long bill. It touches a lot of different firearms provisions in California law. But addressing this issue specifically, they said, all right, we'll bump that number up to 3.
Which is insane.
I don't know that fixes it, but yeah.
No, and I'll shout out Washington Gun Law. He did a video on this a couple days ago that I thought was, his take on that part specifically was interesting because he was like, look, if this is how we're going to do it, then, when you get a magazine ban of, well, you can't have a magazine with more than 10 rounds. Well, then the next thing you know, you're going to get one and they're going to try it with 5 rounds. But if 5 rounds is too few, then they're going to say, okay, well, how about 6?
Right.
How about 7? It's just, we're just going to keep litigating these things to death over and over and over again until you find out like exactly where you violated someone's rights too much. But here's the thing is that three firearms in a 30-day period, what do they think that does? How do they think that actually changes this?
Well, it probably removes the number of plaintiffs for standing. We'll start with that one.
Fair enough.
I'll say most folks aren't buying 3 handguns a month, but I mean, you have a right to. This is America.
Yeah,
but
it's America.
I think probably...
Even I've probably only bought 2 in a month if I'm really thinking about it.
Yeah, but you think about, all right, we've reduced our plaintiff pool down to... Because buying more than one firearm in a month, I mean, that's not crazy. I mean, people do that all the time.
No.
But I think reduce the plaintiff pool. Maybe it's a little bit of grease on the squeaky wheel, but the squeak's not gone.
Yeah, I mean, I guess idea being you're going to get up there and argue like, oh, you know what they're going to get up there and argue? They're going to say if you are buying more than 3 firearms in a month, then that's like prima facie evidence of dangerousness.
Yeah.
That's what they're going to say.
Yeah.
Which is stupid, but that's what they're going to say. Okay, interesting. But there was a hearing on this. You had all of the usual suspects, Moms Demand Action, of course, in their red shirts showing up, being hysterical about stuff. Gifford Center, of course. Shout out to GOA and Gun Owners of California, though. They were there fighting the good fight.
Yeah, become a member.
Yes. But, ultimately, we have this bill pushing forward that will very likely, again, I'm in Texas, but from what I understand looking into this, very likely pass and be signed into law. And then you just have to litigate this thing all over again at taxpayer expense. And way to go, California.
Well, and it's really frustrating because we do this in the Texas House all the time. When we go up and say, hey, look, what you're proposing is unconstitutional, nothing drives me more nuts than getting a response of, well, we'll just have to let the courts figure that out. Golly, just putting the taxpayer on the hook for something is unconstitutional, that really grinds my gears.
Yeah, Richard had a lawmaker be really crappy to him this session about it, where he was like, it's already been held unconstitutional, and so we're just cleaning up the language in the penal code. And
he did not like that.
He did not. He was really insulting about it, but not to your face where you could respond.
No, this is okay. Yeah.
Sidebar.
Yeah, if you're gonna go jump down my throat, do it when I'm sitting there. Like, yell at me. Don't wait for a different witness to swap out and then like attack over that witness to me so that I can't respond. That drives me bananas.
Striking over the shoulder.
Yes. Objection.
So anyway, why did this? Because this did happen. This was, the Ninth Circuit made their decision at the very, very end of June. We had this hearing last week. Why are we talking about this right now? Well, we're talking about this right now because in addition to all of the other crazy anti-gun laws in California, we have had the introduction now to, I guess, solve the problem of this very interesting service that can be purchased. And we think it's a direct result.
Yeah, we'll play a little bit of clip of this app here called Patrol.
A safe neighborhood. It's what every parent wants. But real safety doesn't just happen. It's something we create together. With Patrol, you and your neighbors can book real off-duty police officers. These are highly trained professionals you can book day and night. If you see something off, report it instantly and know an officer is already nearby. This kind of action and peace of mind is what every parent deserves. Because real security isn't about reacting to crime. It's about stopping it before it happens. Protect your home, your street, and the people around you. Real protection, powered by you. Download Patrol today.
Well, guess what, libertarians? You got what you asked for. Private skin. No, I'm just kidding. But, first you deprive the people of their ability to defend themselves. Then you get, and you say, guess what? The government's going to take responsibility for your safety. Well, then you go and destroy that. Well, where are we?
This is the dystopian hellscape because we have disarmed the people. We have made the exercise of not just constitutional right to keep and bear arms, but the God-given right of self-defense inaccessible. And then we have said also, we're not really going to let the police do their jobs. So you are all unarmed and on your own. And what happens? Everyone gets crimed. But now, don't worry, if you have enough money, you can just purchase your own police force and be safe.
Yeah, well, at least it's convenient. It's an app.
It boggles my mind. And
it just comes from such a place of privilege, like, all these lawmakers, they take for granted personal safety or protection. But it's, and it's a Supreme Court quote about, hey, guess what? Those folks who work in marbled halls guarded by folks 24 hours a day, they don't worry about this stuff. It just drives me nuts.
Yeah, and we'll link to this. We've got a Fox 5 San Diego article about this new app, and we'll link to it so you guys can check it out if you care to do so. But we've got like a retired police chief who's quoted in the article who's like, "Oh man, this is so great because we can't be there. You really the best kind of protection. And it's like." First of all, you can be there and your state won't let you. But yes, oftentimes when life or death happens in seconds, police are minutes away.
Yeah.
Right? So the life or death happening in seconds, the answer to that is not let rich people buy their own police. The answer to that is let everyone take advantage of their Second Amendment right. Because at that point, you know why we
Preach,
have...
sister.
Well, look, you know why we have less crime? Like our neck of the woods here, why we don't have as much home invasion crime? Because everybody's got a gun.
Yeah.
So it's a lot harder as a criminal to bust in someone's door knowing that you are in South Texas and the person behind the door has an arsenal.
Yeah. But we hope you enjoyed this discussion. If you did, consider subscribing, hitting that like button, and help us fight the anti-2A algorithm by sharing this video.
And please question and comment for us below. Do you, like us, think that this weird dystopian future is a direct result of California's firearms laws, or are we being too dramatic? Until next time, we're the Armed Attorneys.